Greetings, my fellow ascenders. I know this piece, it's going to be small. It's going to really sound crazy. So, but those with ears to hear shall hear, and those with eyes to see shall see. And I know there are people that have reached the level in their recognition of themselves or realization or remembering. It's actually all saying the same thing. The re is emphasizing that it's not being taken from somewhere else. It's not something that is foreign. It's repeating. It's the R gives me a feeling of a spiral rewinding, like where you were before, and then you now turn back, but in a curvy way because you're making it whole again. Remember in nature how matter gets created or how existence becomes. It's usually from a point and it expands, it spreads, making something that looks circular or like a wheel. That happens from the atoms to the cells of the body, to the planets, to the galaxies in their spirals. So that one principle goes throughout. So if you are rewinding, because you're moving, they all move almost in circular motion. It's like you now just circulating back to where you were before. Which means when you remember, you are going back to putting all the members back of what you are, realizing allies, your allies, those who are you, those who are for you, going back to catching them there, recognizing cognition. So you go back with your cognition, your consciousness, your knowing. You're going to collect back all that you left when you were turning the other way and fragmenting, leaving all pieces on the way. Yeah, so that part just came now. I'm glad that I spoke to you guys because I just realized something else. So I remembered, I became members with knowledge that I already had, or my soul already had, but had left during the journey in fragmenting. So during my meditation, so this was what this was about. Now it starts. During my meditation, my aim, my intention was to go to the monad, the first light, the light, not even the first light, the most high, which means where we all come from, where everything comes from, where existence starts. And I have realized that imagining or trying to form a picture, it kind of distorts your aim, because now you want to go to the real thing that you currently don't know. You're rewinding, going back, right? But already you are giving instructions on how it should be, which makes it not it. It's what your ego side, because the ego controls the physical, what is seen with your eyes and you touch and with the physical senses, So if you're gonna try and form a picture, already you've involved those. And when you involve those, they are all together from the ego that makes you be able to function in this physical realm. So the ego is not bad until you make it God. Until you put it at the top as boss, that you control everything, then you are not going to be able to see the real thing, because all of it will be the made up things. So it will just be the observer observing the ego taking the shots. So I didn't imagine, right? I just breathed. I was just focusing on the breath, but the intention is there. Hey. And the intention, hey. Hey. The intention is the first thought, the Barbello, in mysticism, or the Gnostics, called the first thought, the first creation. Even in the Apocrypha of John, I think they call them, the Barbello, Apocrypha of John, when they explain Genesis in a detailed, esoteric manner. You know, the Genesis that we know from the current text in the Bible that we have. In the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word was God. In the Apocrypha of John, or in other Gnostic texts, the mystics, they named that thought Barbello, the first thought. And it does not exclude any other name that another culture decided to name the first thought as. But I prefer to use the one that I now know about and associate with the first thought, and that those Gnostics that left this knowledge for us associated the first thought with that name. And matter, energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It's merely transformed from one form to the next, which means since they existed, those people, and they were in touch with the first thought, they were in touch with their higher selves, they left the imprint of in the Akasha, like that's the record keeping or library of all there is that the universe has created. And so that includes the flops, the successes, everything that has been thought, been an idea or created or formed, even by us, especially by us human beings, will be stored. That idea of it, or that existence of it, will be stored in the Akasha, which actually explains why two people in opposite sides of the world can think of one idea at the same time, which has never existed according to the current population that's living there. And that's why it would be called an invention. How? They didn't speak, they don't know each other, because they both tuned into the frequency in the Akasha where that idea exists. They tuned in there at the same time. So the brain does not create thoughts or ideas. It tunes in. It's like a very advanced radio or gadget that can tune into different frequencies in the Akasha and get what it needs, what the intention was for. So you see, we go back to the intention. The brain cannot think of something or get an idea if you didn't tune it, if you didn't move it a certain way, maybe for a certain rounds, or okay, now just think of those olden radios that have a wheel thingy. You have to tune them, and then you go to a static quickly, and then you go back here. For you to continue doing that, it's because you have an intention of getting something, a certain radio station, and therefore you end up getting that radio station. If you had no intention and you just think it's turning that wheel, then nothing gets created, nothing gets done because there's no intention. I don't know if you hear what I'm saying, but what I'm saying is the word is the first thought of the intelligence that animates reality and this existence and the physical realm. Not that it was not there, it did not exist, it was there. There's a possibility, one of the possibilities in the Akasha, like the idea that those two people accessed, but it wasn't going to be accessed if an intention did not exist in those people's minds to access something like that. So the intention will be the Barbello. The Gnosis will call her the mother. So when I was trying to go to the Most High, the Father, what Christ would call the Father, which is all, which is basically the Akasha that has all sorts of possibilities and existence, and it is conscious, but then does not have any intention, so it doesn't move. It's still. It's that knob is just still like that. So Barbello is now the word, the intention. Intention would be the first existence, something that is not still, that is not, it's like a movement, the first movement of the consciousness or the intelligence that will create something. So Barbello was the intention, the first creation, and the intention, and then God said, "Let there be light." So that intention the intention was for light to exist or illumination to exist, giving the third creation, which is the sun. It's the sun now because it came from two existences. One, the stillness, the Akasha that has everything. Two, from the Akasha emanated intention, Barbello. So now that is two existences or entities that are different. There's something that is different, right? If these two together now work to emanate something else, a third thing. When they combine, imagine two circles. If the vesica piscis is two circles overlapping, and then what comes out of the middle there would be the results of the two, but it won't be the same as the one. It won't be same as the two. It will be a third creation that is different from both, but is both in a way. So that is their sun. Oh my word. I did not get to the Father, but I got someone. I got Barbello. I was so happy because even the way that she would speak, she had that dignity, that fullness of knowing herself, knowing that she has access to all. She has the Father right here. And she, with being the intention, can ask for anything from the Father as the word. And then I'm having this conversation within myself during this meditation, with my eyes closed. still breathing, but now I'm not even thinking about the breath, but the breath is continuing. So that would be the mechanism in which I guess I'm tuning the dial. I'm like, well, I'm so happy that I found you. I wanted to ask about the father, but then I left that. Now I'm trying to remember this conversation as it was. Oh, and then I said, I do not want to lose this memory. I don't want to forget how to get to this point in my consciousness. How do I do that? And then she says that you are me. I've never left you. I'm closer to you than your next breath, and you are made of breath. So that means that if you're going to have thoughts that are opposing you being me right now, how can I explain this? If you're gonna fear not existing, then you become that energy of fear. What's gonna exist will be what the fear produces. So I'm there, but you're not conscious of me because you went the other way instead of just reaching me and being me. I'm like, oh shoot, that makes sense. So that's why if you are praying or you're asking for something, it takes longer if you were scared inside or anxious that you might not get that thing, because you're mixing with the frequency. You keep going back and forth, but now it's pulling more on the non-existence of what you're trying to make exist than it existing, which means you're dialing, you're tuning on the wrong. You're going there. You're supposed to be going maybe left. You going okay. So you did this. You tuned left right before getting there in left. You like right, a little bit of right, and then left, right. That you understand. So you're not getting to that point. So the radio will keep on doing the the static until you just continue breathing. So that's back to movement. And believe that it is done. You have it. Stay. You are that I am. Then the dial will go straight to the I am. I don't know if you guys get me. If it happens, I might make another one, a small one, just to explain some of the things that I see that maybe I didn't explain them nicely yet. But I'm sure some will get me. I love you guys. Be kind. Be kind to yourselves also. Try meditating or just deep breathing. You'll be surprised where you'll go in your conscious and in the Akasha. Use things and not people. Bye-bye. Oh, and during that meditation, still talking to Barbello, then I had a question of why is she a she? Why is the first intention a woman? Then I realized that, oh, it's the feminine that gets pregnant, right? That carries the new creation, the baby, into existence. So the father has the seed because they're still like that, but then they contain within the stillness all that can exist. So the idea before it comes and becomes an intention. So the intention will now go and grab that idea and they will sort of conceive the idea and gestate or they impregnated, of course, with it now, and will give birth to it when your idea now comes into fruition. If it hasn't come into fruition, maybe to the physical form, it's still there. It means Barbello is still pregnant, unless you forget about Barbello for a while, a long time, which means that she goes back into the Akasha as an idea that has been created but was there but never came to physical form. So that's why she's a woman, the mother. Yeah. Oh, and I wanted to explain why you have to have a name for this word or the intention. And as much as maybe we'd like to give our own names, different names, the thing is, it's gonna be far. The strength of the tuning ability of that code will be young, because no other energy has put it in the Akasha as that code. So the Barbello would be a code that the energies of the ancestors, or the Gnostics, that called that the intention Barbello, and was putting a lot of Barbellos, their intentions in the Akasha before I came. So when now I put in the code Barbello, then it's like a what is this? A straight route, an express route that is known to get to where I'm trying to get to.